how does one naturally boost their testosterone?
Yeah, so the things that you can do to boost testosterone, number one is strength training, and not endurance, long distance endurance training, but actual strength training. So core, quad, hamstring, back, big belly muscle is really important. Sleep quality is so critical, that you're getting good quality sleep. Studies have shown that if you are sleep deprived, a study out of Colorado, they looked at college boys and they kept them up all night. And their testosterone level was 50% lower after just one night of no sleep.
So very sensitive,
Just like that.
to sleep.
Yeah. So good quality sleep is important. Stress mitigation. We can't eliminate stress, but how are we responding to it? How are we managing it? And so really focusing on stress mitigation. Some of the tools we talked about a few minutes ago. We know that proper nutrition is important. Micronutrients, things like zinc and magnesium and B complex vitamins are really important. Good healthy fats are important. Carbohydrates, some guys, if you're doing strict keto, low carb, that actually may be harmful for testosterone as well.
Interesting.
So that's important. Sunlight is important. And actually, studies have shown sunlight on your balls has actually been shown, on the scrotum has actually been shown to be effective. So
Josh does that a lot.
there you go. Yeah, new sunbathing. Yeah, the neighbors ask questions, but hey, for a good cause. You just tell us for a good cause.
That's why we put fences around the house.
That's right. Yeah.
No, that's hey, at this point too, I've done that straight up, and it's like at this point I'm good to experiment. Like if test levels are that low and just the average health is on that decline because of the factors, it's like anything that could give you that edge or give you the boost, I think is worth experimenting with.
Definitely.
So
avoiding exposures as well. I'll finish with the endocrine disruptors. So we're talking like plastic water bottles, for example. So I would try to avoid ever drinking from a plastic water bottle.
I'm over here sipping this, which was just to pop in there real quick before you finish.
Yeah,
it's so true, because you may be thinking like me, it's a plastic bottle. Like, once we're gonna go crazy with this, but these bottles, think about like where they've been. They're packaged the water. They send them on trucks and boxes, and they park it outside of the gas station for hours in the sun, where it melts some of the stuff. So that's what I think about now. And I'm definitely more inclined, of course, small tweaks, to do stainless steel Yeti, stuff like that.
Definitely. So really try to focus on that. Filtering your water is important as well. So our water supplies, people don't know this, but our water supplies, the filtration at our municipal treatment plants is not that great. So like synthetic estrogen, like women's birth control. When women take synthetic birth control and they pee it out in the water, and our systems, our treatment plants can't clear that. And so there's actually largely detectable levels of synthetic estrogen in our water supply, as well as other chemicals as well. And so I strongly recommend that you filter your water. So any water I'm drinking has been filtered through carbon block, reverse osmosis as well, if possible. So really big deal for your water. Your food, organic matters. When you look at like fruits and vegetables that are non-organic, these crops are sprayed with atrazine, which is an herbicide, glyphosate people have heard of, all these other chemicals that are shown as endocrine disruptors to crush our health. And especially testosterone.
So we're getting attacked from all sides. The goal is to proactively, take ownership of our lives, to fight against the system, to live our best life, to live the life we were made for. In terms of water filters, I have a Berkey. Is that good enough? No, shaking your head.
It's funny. Maybe like 8 years ago, I got a Berkey. I was all excited about it. I had it on my counter. And my wife was like, "It looks like a tea urn." I'm like, "Yeah, I know, but it's great. It's great." And then actually, a colleague of mine did a study. He has some special tools to be able to measure the particulate and actually show that it actually doesn't work very well. And so I abandoned it. I actually have a Kinetico, and I don't have any affiliation with them, but I love them because they can install it for your entire house. And so you can
showers.
Yeah, well, I would really focus specifically, just from a cost standpoint, on the tap where you're going to be drinking from and the ice. And so if you're taking a shower, the water's not touching for very long. It's not really as big of a concern. But if it's drinking water, so the ice in the water, we do have that filtered.
So that would be the best alternative for a Berkey would be a Kinetico.
And there are other companies that make them as well. You can get an under the sink filter as well. You can apply it just to a tap. You can start with that to keep it simple.
Got it. I'll be looking at that shortly after this conversation.
And one more thing I want to add with toxin exposure is personal care products. Especially like deodorant, because it's on your body all day. Laundry detergent, because you're wearing your clothes all day and you're absorbing these chemicals. Other things like soap, shampoo, sunscreen, all these products are loaded with these harmful chemicals as well. We don't realize that it's like you said, it's like a soup of endocrine disruption that we're bathing in every day.
Yeah.
So it's little baby steps. Again, tiny habits. What can I do? Just a little thing each day. And so when you go shopping, there's an app on your phone. You can get there are a couple of them out there. One is called Healthy Living by the Environmental Working Group. It's free. Yucca is another one, and then Think Dirty is there's 3 of them out there.
Yeah.
You go to the store, Walmart, Target, wherever you are, and scan barcodes, and you'll see the ingredients, and it'll give you warnings of how bad they are, and you'd be shocked at things like Tide laundry detergent. It's horrible when you look at the actual harmful chemicals in it.
That's huge. Those 3 apps are great. I'm familiar with the last 2. I
yeah,
wasn't familiar with the Healthy Living. But that's
awesome.
It almost makes you want to just be so primal and so in touch with nature, where you just don't put anything in your like on your body, or and you walk around shirtless and barefoot. So that would be a great solution to kind of find the middle ground. But
Sure.
do you think about that? Like how much do you think about living in line with nature and health?
I do, and I look at it like a spectrum. So I'm glad you bring this up. There's this natural end where I want to do everything naturally, and I'm not going to do any hormones. I'm not going to do any supplements. I'm going to do anything that's not purely from the ground and the earth. And then you have these very extreme biohackers, Brian Johnson, I'll call him out here, who are doing everything synthetic and artificial and aggressive that they can, spending hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars on optimizing so they can live forever, live to 150, whatever.
Right.
And I think there's a spectrum of where's your line in the sand, right? And everyone's different, and my personal perspective doesn't necessarily matter even. It's a matter of recognizing and acknowledging every one of my clients, where are they in that spectrum, and I can respect that, and I can share insight into why you maybe want to think about going a different. If you're too far over here, maybe you want to think about being more natural, or vice versa. But ultimately, we don't know. We really don't know. Like when it comes to like longevity and what's the right answer, everyone thinks they know, but we still don't have any studies that show that we're actually extending lifespan yet. And so,
Wait, repeat that.
There's nothing that's been shown to extend lifespan.
Interesting. But quality of life,
in
sure.
human quality of life, sure.
Yeah.
Reducing chronic disease, absolutely.
Interesting.
Yeah. But so when it comes going back to your question about being natural, I'm all for being as natural as you can. But my line in the sand may be different than yours, and that's okay. It's just a matter of how, like coming back to testosterone. I know from 30 years now of working with testosterone in men that all the lifestyle things we talked about, the strength training, the sleep, the stress, the sunlight, and
nutrition
and environmental exposure, nutrition, all these things that we're talking about for optimizing testosterone. I know that for most men, if you're free testosterone, typically guys coming off the street, their free testosterone is like 4, 6, 8-ish, somewhere in that kind of, almost uniformly somewhere in that kind of ballpark.
And what's the ceiling of that?
It should be around 20.
Okay.
Should be around 20.
Yeah.
Now, when you look at the lab ranges, they're based on current flawed population numbers. So it'll say like 4 to 18 is normal range, which is absurd.
Okay.
But again, that's half of where we were 20 years ago. So that range 20 years ago was much, much higher. And so that's why around 20 is my general target for most men. So if your free T is 6, and we do all those things I just mentioned. Well, first of all, we know that guys are not going to do what they're supposed to. Or we started this conversation with, why don't guys do what they know they're supposed to do, right? It's like the accountability, the consistency kind of thing. But let's say you did all those things perfectly for 6 months. No one will, but let's say you did. I get that 6 up to maybe 10, 12-ish, which is, shit, that's pretty good. 100%, I've doubled
Big
my
boost.
testosterone.
Yeah.
That's great. But it's still 12.
Yeah.
And I need to be up to 20. And so going back to the line in the sand kind of analogy I was making, I am a firm believer in testosterone replacement therapy because I know I can get you to 20 quicker. And now when you're 20, for example, when your testosterone's optimized, I'm now able to get that man much more motivated and driven and confident and like, let's freaking go. And now he's going to do all those lifestyle things that maybe before he wasn't motivated or driven to do. Now he's much more confident. He's much more alive. He feels like a man. He's like able to put in the work now, and it compounds.
That's good.
And so it all kind of goes together. So that's why my line in the sand is probably a little further to the right than most people, but that's okay because I have that experience to see what that can do for you.
I'm a visual guy, and so I think about what you're doing is if we're all, taking an axe to a tree as men, and we all have dull axes. What you do is you come in and sharpen the axe to where those swings are going further with less effort.
Oh, I love that.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's like you could be working really hard and going nowhere, but if you're, if you have a better tool, if you give guys better tools, better frameworks, better information or treatment, you're able to have that be more successful.
That's good.